Hello again, everybody. It is the coach.
First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Denver Broncos and the Detroit Lions. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. It didn't happen on that play.
And he'll get about 3 here as he's out to the 30.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again, go play action, hit them over the top.
From the gun on 3rd down, Keenum finds Jake Butt over the middle. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
That throw's not going to get them a whole lot, but that really didn't matter, did it? They got what they needed on that throw. Picked up the first down, and I'm going cliche here. Game of inches, partner.
Absolutely. And you talked to me a lot about opening drives, how key those are to set the tone. You kept the drive alive. 3rd down conversion here is big. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The numbers for Sanders last week: 5 catches, 75 yards.
And what we just saw there was exactly what they need against this defense. Big plays. They were able to pick up a first down on that one.
Almost able to intercept it. That's one he would have liked to have held on to on this first drive. Instead, 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
That's caught left side by Jake Butt. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. And forget about the run to set up the pass. They're just coming out throwing.
Forget trying to set anything up. They feel like they have the advantage. They feel like they have the matchups, and they're just attacking right now.
Yep, going to the air on the opening drive. Got a man. He finds Sanders. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Keenum to Sanders for the Denver first down. Nice job keeping that opening drive alive, and they're in plus territory, that part of the field where you really want to convert on 3rd down. They did.
Big-time pickup for them, and now I think the aggressive play callers think to themselves, this part of the field, I take my shot at the end zone, because the closer you get to the end zone, the field gets condensed. Makes it a lot tougher to run those routes. You still got a chance to actually run past people right now. Take your shot at the end zone early in the down and distance count.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Only a gain of a yard there, but it indeed gets him a new set of downs.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the first down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the first down. That's exactly what they did.
A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Seeing that play and understand just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
And when the defense wins and gets up no yardage on a running play, that's something they can build on and carry themselves forward throughout the game.
So on fourth down, on comes Brandon McManus and the field goal unit for the Broncos. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. And McManus able to put it through. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
So first and 10 now from the 30.
Flex round.
On first and 10, Conley. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. That one goes for 24 yards.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
Throwing on first down, Conley. And he's got his tight end. This is Luke Wilson. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? The Lions into the red zone for the first time. First and 10 right at the 20. Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. He hits Riddick underneath. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. Call it a gain of 5, and it's a second down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Come on, let's go. What? 90. What?
Again, he'll drop to throw. They'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's third down. A look now at how Denver is going to line up defensively. They're a top 5 unit right now against the pass in the league. In fact, they sit at number 5.
And this is what we talk game inside the game. Top 5 passing offense versus top 5 passing defense. I wouldn't be surprised defensively if they change up coverages a bit more than usual to try and combat what they expect to see.
They'll go with a keeper. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the first. They only got 2, but that was enough as they'll convert to make it first and goal.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the first down.
And as we say often, it shows confidence in your offensive line. They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
I saw Von Miller in college at Texas A&M, and all I kept hearing about was his speed off the edge to the quarterback. But what impressed me is balance.
Another shot from the 9 on second and goal. From the gun, Conley. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. Off the play fake. Conley. And the pressure gets to him again. Von Miller. In there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint, as that is sack number 100, and what has certainly been a terrific career to this point.
2 sacks last week, another one right here. He's been unblockable lately, and I think that goes all the way back to not just his offseason, but the film study he's been doing during the week, because I think he's found matchups that he likes, and he's capitalizing.
And a few times he's even defeated double teams. He doesn't care at this point. So a return of serve, so to speak, here on the second drive of our game as they respond to that opening field goal with 3 of their own.
I like that. Go a little tennis on me.
I know you. You like to mix it up with sports.
They crack a forehand back at him. They get a backhand. What was the return on?
It was a backhand.
I like that
really
one.
good backhand.
With some nice top spin on the whole thing. I love it. Almost a mirror image when you really get down to it. I thought that was pretty good stuff.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Damon Harrison, the one on the stop.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Left side here to Sanders. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another first down.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
He used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this, when he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better. Yes, indeed, that play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with to have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball.
Blitz coming, and down he goes.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they got to find
Emmanuel Sanders. And all the way home for a Broncos score. Emmanuel Sanders, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Broncos are in for 6. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. Just, I like the way you've described it.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. The Broncos say they have it. They do. A little careless with a football, and he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand. Put it away. Tuck it away because you've got it.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. A great play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Broncos will extend their lead.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Well, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. A very solid gain of 27. On first down, Conley looking downfield for Joe. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, DJ Hayden. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. They have to be pleased with the way that they moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They run a draw here on second down. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Open man, and that's his tight end, Jake Butt. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos first down. Keenum now 9 of 11 passing in this first half. He's got his guys at first and 10. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. It's another 10 yards on that one, and another first down.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. That one goes for 24 yards. Here's first and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime. Again, Keenum. And his throw is incomplete. E.J. Gaines the one that time to knock it away.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Denver score. Emmanuel Sanders with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Broncos will add on to their lead. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Now McManus on to kick this one off. This is fielded a couple yards deep. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. So out now come the Lions. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily to look at your plays.
He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. Past the 20. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there. 76 yards. And the Lions are able to cut into this lead.
Well, that touchdown certainly helps, but they've got to go ahead and convert, get to the half, and figure out how to keep chopping down this lead in the second, don't they?
Yeah, they still need to regroup, and they still need to end the second quarter strong. A little bit of time left. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now Case Keenum and the offense heading back onto the field. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was just saying, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him on the field, folks. He wants that type of celebration.
And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing on first down is Keenum. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
The Broncos on third down. They have been superb. 5 for 6 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. Now Keenum again. He finds Humphries. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. On 2nd and 10, Keenum. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. The Broncos on third down. They've been excellent, 6 for 7. This will be 3rd and 19. From the 50, it's Keenum. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the All-Pro, Navarro Bowman. And he's able to bring it up 5 yards shy of midfield to the 45-yard line.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Conley. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. A big play there as the first half is winding down. And the Lions strike quickly here for 6 points. Well, this could be a big turnaround. They get the touchdown here in the final moments of the second quarter. And remember, Charles, they're going to get the ball to start quarter number 3 as well. So what you're saying is if they take the ball down to start the second half and score again, it could change the entire complexion of this game, couldn't it? Absolutely. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Here's Emmanuel Sanders now as he and the rest of the offense march back onto the field. We're in the second quarter. He already has 2 touchdowns. We know how good he is. That's well documented. How do you contain him?
We know he's a nightmare. So in this situation, I would go ahead and double him, maybe even have a 3rd person in the area, and try and dissuade them from throwing him the football. Make someone else beat me for a while, because I don't know that their talents are his Because when he gets his hands on the ball, he breaks down my entire D. Someone else, they may not make the same type of a play.
Well, we know his talents are very good. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. So we come upon halftime, and we will skip the highlight show this week. Get right back to this Week 3 matchup. Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3? And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission? Pressure up the middle, and down he goes. A rough couple of weeks for the man under center. 5 sacks last week, 4 now this week. Do you try to design some quicker developing plays if you're an offensive coordinator?
I think you do that. I think you also change his launch point at times. In other words, move your pocket to the right, to the left. Roll him out, bootleg him. Do some different things so they can't just rely on the fact that he's going to take 3 to 5 steps back in the pocket and line up and throw the football.
Yeah, current formula is not working right now.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around and make a play on the football.
To the right and complete to Galladay. That goes for a gain of 31. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 23, and they will take over at the 26-yard line. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that'll make it 3rd and 13. From the gun, it's Keenum. Sanders has it over the middle. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
On 1st and 10, Keenum. The quick slant caught. And he's brought down. 10 more there and another 1st down. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this one. He's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. Now they'll run. Murray. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Holding offense.
So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
And on the ground they go with a running back. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. He'll get it up the middle. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Keenum now to throw.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. And McManus able to put it through, and that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
A big play there for Detroit. 42 yards.
That was a nice pickup, some chunk yardage there. Some of those big yards downfield with a little bit of rack thrown in there, a little run after catch. And it came on a crossing route. I could just hear one of my friends who won 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback always said the same thing. What route does a defense hate? Crossing route. Hate it, hate it, hate it, because it's hard to change direction when they get going full speed in the other way.
Tackled by Bradley Chubb, the number 5 pick in the 2018 draft.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Conley flushed out right. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down.
How about a tip of the cap to the defense? They're working against a very mobile quarterback, but all day long they've kept him under wraps. And on that play, they held him to a short gain.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Looking to throw. Conley. And he'll find Galladay. That's complete. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a 1st down here.
And there was absolutely zero pressure on the quarterback on that play. 3rd down, and he has all the time in the world to eventually find an open receiver for a 1st down pickup.
Let's go! What? 90!
A 1st down carry here for Johnson. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions trailing, but with possession of the football as we get set to bring you the 4th quarter. To throw on 2nd down. Conley. This is caught. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal. Great mix of play calling so far. 3 runs, 3 passes. All 3 passes have been completions. 1st and goal.
I think on defense now, you have to almost take a chance. Rely on your scouting Pick a play you think they would run here and just load up for it and see what happens.
It's a quarterback sneak. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task.
And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. It's their quarterback taking it in. And the Lions have got it back to a one-score game. So with second and goal, still had a couple of downs to work with. They tried to sneak, and they got in.
I like the idea that they did it early in the down and distance count. Second down as opposed to waiting later on. I think it fooled them a little bit, but how about the push they got up front to get the quarterback through?
Big push and a touchdown to boot. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's Emmanuel Sanders now as he and the rest of the offense march back onto the field. And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. Never give him 100 yards.
He's got Daylay, 30, 10, and all the way home for a Broncos score. Adam Humphries, his second touchdown on the season, and the Broncos will extend their lead. Now McManus for the extra point. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from, but for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. Able to spin free. And what a return. Great field position all the way out to the 48-yard line.
There's no downplaying that we all knew that this was a critical possession, and to get a return like that to start things off, that's the spark that they needed. That's the spark they were looking for.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
To throw again, Conley. There's that man again. It's complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Well, we haven't been shortchanged on offense. Another fun play to watch there on the deep pass.
This game has the feel of what, a turkey bowl, a Thanksgiving day. You know, when we get together this year and the Davises and the Gaudens get together, that's what our playbook's going to look like.
And he has his receiver. That's Jones. Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Lions able to get this back within a touchdown. Extra point good by Prater. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Play action. Now it's Keenum. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. He's looking for another 4-sack game. That's how many he had last week. That's his third.
And when I watch him rush the passer, the thing that always comes to mind for me is how well he uses his hands. The martial arts stuff that a lot...
And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked up by Quadre Diggs. And this one will be brought back to the 22. A critical error there in a tight game in the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Whether it's what we call an even front or an odd front, and an odd front's real easy to figure out. If that guy is lined up over the nose of the center, typically that's an odd front defense. Odd number of people, meaning 3-4 versus the 4-3, which is an even front. You've got to control those guys in the middle. Whether it's the nose or the two defensive tackles in a 4-man front, if those guys can't get moved, you cannot run the ball in the middle of the field. And in that play, they were able to actually take care of business.
They come up in an offset eye. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a third down. Back to throw. Conley. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to bring up a fourth down. Well, you throw it this close to the goal line, usually you're thinking touchdown. Here they actually completed but lose yardage.
When you're this close to the goal line, you have to anticipate that maybe you're going to see a defense that you can make a case that there's 11 in the box. There's just no room. So I'm with you. You've got to find a way to push things downfield a little bit. Any type of space is better than what we just saw there. And that end result, not one that's satisfactory to them.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption on both sides right now. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. And now a timeout taken here defensively with 2:07 remaining. So they'll also have the stop coming up at the 2-minute warning. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag.
False start, offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. So it's Bronco football as we get your reset here. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. On 1st down, Murray. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
I like it. I like the call. Still an opportunity to run the football and chew up a little more time off the clock.
To throw is Keenum. On the crossing route, complete. That's Webster. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
Partner, you got to like what they're doing right there. Little by little, they're getting closer. Another good pickup.
Keenum now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. First and 10. Now a give. This is Murray. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down. Defense able to get there, swarm to the football. Zilch, zero, nada there for the offense, Charles.
Yeah, it really was an example of good team defense, wasn't it? Everyone handled their responsibilities, and they held them to no gain.
They go with Murray again. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. The tackle there by Quandre Diggs.
All right, my man, this is now where it's risk-reward. Because on defense, you've got to crowd the line of scrimmage. You've got to get in all the gaps, get up tight on everyone, and try and force the field goal attempt here. You can't let them break one big, but you know something, when you crowd the line of scrimmage, if they do pop one, it's going to go.
Yeah, as I said, could take it to the house, but the magnitude of this possible upcoming field goal, every yard counts. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play. And McManus able to put it through. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that, because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it.
Well, how about keeping your head about you in this situation? No more timeouts. Finds a way to get out of bounds. Now they can breathe a little bit as they contemplate what to do on the next down.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for first and 10. They'll look to throw. The left side completion to Jones. And they move this all the way down to the 9. He got 29 yards that time. And they're able to spike it with time remaining. And now in field goal range here with a chance to get this one to OT. So here we go. Maybe the biggest kick of the game forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to potentially send us to overtime. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. So a money kick there in the final seconds. And now, barring any hijinks on the kickoff here, partner, I think you and I, we're going to settle in for a little overtime.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. This has been a dogfight all through regulation. No reason to think it won't continue in the extra period.
And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team, and that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far. Short gain there to start overtime.
Almost a tester play, wasn't it? Wanted to see if the guys on defense were going to fit the gaps the correct way because we're in overtime. So it's not just physical tiredness out there, right? Mentally, are you still doing what you're supposed to do? And they were up to the task on that play.
And certainly fatigue on both sides of the football. I don't want to overhype it, but this is a big early season game, especially an overtime win. That can give you a big boost going forward in the season.
It certainly can, and I don't think you're overhyping it because cliches go out the window when you start to play overtime. And you're right, the winner of this game now, that's an extra boost moving forward. And it actually is an extra hurt for the team that loses because normally you shake it off. But in this situation, it lingers a little bit longer.
They picked up a first down and a whole lot more. Forget about just looking for the sticks. They went well beyond the stick.
I know they were talking about guarding the sticks on defense. They didn't guard them very well. They got a big-time completion on a third down. That's almost a backbreaker, isn't it? In overtime, every play's importance is magnified. And that one could turn out to be huge.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Keenum. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick on a first down.
And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Foul. Face mask. Defense.
In overtime, you have to be smarter than that.
A personal foul just can't happen. Have to have poise.
13 yards on the pickup. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. From the red zone, it's Keenum. This will be caught at about the 5. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream.